Dear friends, today we will start a new chapter, that is chapter number 10 of your textbook, and that name is Wave Optics. You have already started your chapter number 9. This is ray optics, and now this is your chapter number 10, that is wave optics. Now what the actually wave optic is and what are the topics that we are going to learn in this chapter, that we will discuss today. The phenomena starts, or the chapter starts from one phenomena, that is the corpuscular model of light. In 1637, Descartes gave the corpuscular model of light and derived Snell's law. So the first time one model for light is introduced, and the first model that is come to in existence or come to in picture, that is Descartes corpuscular. So this was the first time any model that was introduced for the light. So Descartes corpuscular model was the first model that introduced, and he proved the Snell's law, the derivation of Snell's law that was given by him at that time. It explained the laws of reflection and refraction of light, and at an interface, the corpuscular model predicted that if the ray of light bends towards the normal, then the speed of light would be greater. That means if you consider, suppose this horizontal line is interface, then if light is coming, this is normal, this vertical line is normal to the interface. If we consider that there is an angle theta I, that is called angle of incidence, it predicted that if the ray of light bends towards the normal, that means if it bends towards the normal, here you can see this is your reflected way. So here, if any ray of light bends towards the normal, then the speed of light would be greater in the second medium. So here suppose v2 is the speed, here suppose v1 is the speed. So that Descartes predicted that if this is the condition, that is theta r is less than theta I, then v2 is greater than v1. Again, this was the old model. So this corpuscular model of light was further developed by Newton in his famous book, that is Optics. Newton has predicted the same thing, and by his book Optics. The spelling is interesting. He predicted the same theory, and because of the tremendous popularity of this book, the corpuscular model is very often attributed to Newton also, but it was actually made or predicted by Descartes. That is, Descartes is the name of the scientist. Now, this model was very well famous. It was accepted in all over the scientific community, but first time in about 1678, a new scientist was doing of some work or over a light. The Dutch physicist Christian Huygens, some people say Huygens also. So in 1678, a new scientist, that is Huygens, some says Huygens also. So Huygens put forward the wave theory. So Huygens wave theory is very well popular. Afterwards, it is the wave model of light that we will discuss in this chapter also. As we will see, the wave model could satisfactorily explain. Wave theory could satisfactorily explain the phenomena of reflection, then the phenomena of refraction, it predicts that the refraction would be less, or in this theory the Huygens predicted that when light refracted from one medium to another medium, if the wave bends towards the normal, so here the same figure if we draw as we have drawn the previous figure, that the phenomena of refraction, this is the interface, this is the normal. Suppose light enters, this is angle of incidence. So it predicted that refraction, if the wave bends towards the normal, then speed of light would be less in the second medium. So if here again this is supposed to be theta r, we can say that if theta r is less than theta I, then suppose this is V2, this is V1, then he predicted that V2 will be less than V1. So this consideration has totally contradiction with the previous model. So here we can consider this is as wave theory and Huygens or Huygens principle, in which he has explained that if the light bend toward the normal, then the second medium can be considered as a denser, and the speed of light that would be decreased or less in the second medium. This is totally contradiction to the prediction made by the corpuscular model of light. It was much later confirmed by experiments where it was shown that the speed of light in water is less than the speed in air. So it was later on established that speed of light in water is less than speed of light in air. So we can say that sea water is less than sea air. So that was the first time established, and Foucault carried out this experiment in 1850. So this experiment first time carried out by Foucault. Have you heard this name earlier in any theory of magnetism? It is the Foucault, the same Foucault who had discovered the eddy current. Now, the wave theory was not readily accepted primarily because of the Newton's authority, and also because light could travel through vacuum, and it was felt that a wave would always require a medium to propagate from one point to another. However, when Thomas Young performed his famous interference experiment in 1801, so the new name introducing now, Thomas Young, that is also not the new name for this field. Thomas Young performed his famous interference experiment. That is the part of this chapter also, phenomena of interference. So we can say here interference. So interference experiment in 1801, it was firmly established that light is indeed a wave phenomena. The wavelength of visible light was measured and found to be extremely small. For example, the wavelength of yellow light is very small, that is about 0.5 micrometer range. Because of the smallness of the wavelength of visible light, that is in comparison with the dimensions of the typical mirrors and lenses, light can be assumed to be approximately travel in a straight line. So due to this small range, or the size of the wavelength of visible light, initially that was considered that light can be assumed to be approximately travel in a straight line. This is the field of geometrical optics, which we had discussed in previous chapter 9. That is already been in your work. Indeed, in the branch of optics, in which one completely neglect the finiteness of the wavelength, is called geometrical optics, and a ray is defined as a path of energy propagation in the limit of the wavelength tending to 0. Now, what happened after this famous experiment? After the interference experiment of Young in 1801, this experiment that was carried out in 1801 by Young, it is very well known. For next 40 years or so, many experiments were carried out involving the interference and diffraction of light waves. These experiments could only be satisfactorily explained by assuming wave model of light. So now the new two phenomena that we can add in upper layer, that refraction. Then the third part that we can add over here, that is called one phenomena that is called interference, and that another phenomena that also come into the picture, that is called new phenomena, that is not very well known up to this, but there are different types of phenomena that the wave theory of light deals with, that we are going to understand another phenomena that is called diffraction. That is also the bending of light. Diffraction phenomena, interference phenomena, that can only be explained with the help of, we can say it is with the help of wave theory only. Around the middle of 19th century, the wave theory seemed to be very well established. The only major difficulty was that since it was taught that a wave required a medium for its propagation, how could light wave propagate through vacuum? This was explained by Maxwell, put forward his famous electromagnetic theory of light. So now a new person, that is not new but a well-known Maxwell theory, that is Maxwell's theory of electromagnetic waves. Established that a light, that is a wave, can pass through no medium, or it can pass through vacuum also. So that was the first time now it was established by Maxwell's electromagnetic theory of light. Maxwell had developed a set of equations describing the laws of electricity and magnetism, and using these equations he derived what is known as a wave equation, from which he predicted the existence of electromagnetic waves. From the wave equation, Maxwell could calculate the speed of electromagnetic waves in free space, and he found that the theoretical value was very close to the measured value of speed of light. This whole phenomena that we have discussed shortly in our chapter number 8, which is also named as electromagnetic wave. So in chapter number 8 we have already discussed about this phenomena, that is electromagnetic wave, and in that chapter we have discussed all these things. From this he propounded that light must be an electromagnetic wave. So he proved that light is also a wave. Thus, according to Maxwell, light waves are associated with the changing electric and magnetic fields. Changing electric field produces a time and space varying magnetic field, and a changing magnetic field produces time and space varying electric field. So changing E produces time varying and space varying magnetic field B. So changing electric field produce time and space varying magnetic field, and changing magnetic field in a same manner, changing magnetic field produces time and space varying electric field. The changing electric and magnetic fields result in the propagation of electromagnetic waves even in vacuum. So the light can pass through vacuum, and it was established through these different experiments. So now we can understood and we can learn that what this theory can give. Now in short, we will see that what are the different parameters and topics that we will deal in this chapter. We will see that in this chapter we will first discuss the original formulation of Huygens principle. That is first topic that we will cover, that is Huygens principle. And derive the laws of reflection and refraction. The next section we will discuss the phenomena of interference, which is based on the principle of superposition. So we will learn a new interference phenomena. Based on superposition. Then next section we will discuss the phenomenon of diffraction, which is based on Huygens and Fresnel principle. So the next phenomena that is the part of this chapter, that is diffraction. That is based on Huygens and Fresnel. Here generally this S letter is not speak in the name of the scientist. Then in the next part of this chapter we will learn a new topic, that is the polarization. So the phenomena of polarization. That we will study, which is also based on the fact that light waves are transverse electromagnetic waves. So based on the fact that light waves are transverse electromagnetic waves. So these are few topics of this chapter that we will learn in detail, that is interference, diffraction and polarization are the main topic which we will deal in this chapter.